Happy Tuesday. Let's talk about what is the probability of tossing a coin twice and it lands on heads the first time and then it lands on heads the second time. Well, if I look, I can find the probability that it's going to land on heads the first time. Well, there's one head out of two choices, right? Heads or tails. What's the probability it's going to land on heads the second time? Well, it's still one head out of two tails. I'm going to take the two probabilities, multiply them together because and in probability means multiplication. And when you do this, you get 1 over 4. So the probability that you're going to get heads and then another heads is 1/4. Formulas for perimeter and area of shapes that you've seen in the past. We've got triangle, rectangle, square, parallelogram, trapezoid, and circle. The only thing that I want to mention is that when you're multiplying the base and the height, look at your picture, your base and your height are always going to be perpendicular to each other, meaning they form a right angle. So no matter where you're at, when you're looking at your bases and your height, they have to form a 90-degree angle. Same goes with why the formula for a square and a rectangle is the way it is, because the base and the height have to form a 90-degree angle. So I would love you to stop this video and work through all the examples and then check your answers as you go. Formula's area equals 1/2 base times height. We know the base is 15 and the height is 21.3. So we're going to multiply those together. 15 times 21.3. And then we're going to divide that answer in half. And we get area is equal to 159.75. When we look at this, we're going to need to talk about units since we're doing area. Area is going to be the units squared, so we're going to do meters squared. If I want to find the area of a parallelogram, the formula is just base times height, where in this case my base is 12.9 and my height is 7.1. So I'm going to take those two numbers, we're going to multiply them together. 12.9 times 7.1. We do that, we get 91.59. So the area is going to be 91.59. Our units are inches. Since we're doing area, it's going to be inches squared. On the next picture, this is a trapezoid. So if we want to do our area of a trapezoid, it's going to be 1/2 the height, which is 16, times the two bases added together. So it's going to be 19 plus 27. So we're going to add together the bases, 19 plus 27. We're going to times it by the height, which is 16. And then we're going to divide our answer by 2. When we do that, we get 368. So our area is going to be 368. That's going to be centimeters squared. If we want perimeter, perimeter is just when we take all the sides and add them together. So to get perimeter, we're just going to add together all the outsides. So 16.5 plus 19 plus 21 plus 27. and we get 83.5. Since we're talking about perimeter is a length, not an area, so that's just going to be in centimeters. Over here, we got our circle. For circumference of a circle, that's 2 times pi times radius. My radius in this case is going to be half of 26, that's going to be 13. We want to do what I call, keep this in exact form, so we're only going to multiply the numbers together. 2 times 13 is 26, and we tack the pi on for later. So in exact form, my circumference is 26 pi. That is the distance around the circle, so that's just going to be a distance, so that's in yards. If I want to take area, I take the radius and I square it. 13 squared is 169, and then we're going to save the pi for later. So in exact form, this is called 169 pi, and that's in yards squared since it's area. If we want to find the area of the triangle in example 5, the area is just 1/2 base times height. My base is 29.5, and my height is 14. Multiply this together, 29.5 times 14. And then divide that answer by 2. I get 206.5. So the area of this triangle is 206.5 inches squared. And if you want to find the area of this rectangle, it's just length times width, or you can use base times height. My base is 3.7, and we multiply that by the height, which is 10.5. So 3.7 times 10.5. And we get 38.85. So the area is 38.85. Area is kilometers squared, since we multiplied together the 2 kilometer pieces. If I want to find area of half of a circle, my area formula is pi times radius squared. But I need to take half of that. So I'm going to do 17 squared, and then I'm going to take half of whatever that answer is. So 17 squared. I'm going to divide that number by 2, and I get 144.5. So this is 144.5 pi feet squared. If I want to find the area of this triangle, first thing I need is the height. So I have to use Pythagorean theorem to find the height. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 7 squared plus x squared equals 18.2 squared. It's going to be 49 plus x squared equals 331.24. I'm going to subtract 49. Get x squared equals 282.24. Then we're going to take the square root. And we get the height is 16.8. If I want area, our area formula is just 1/2 the base times the height. So it's going to be 1/2 times 7 times 16.8 times 16.8. Divide that answer by 2. get the area. It's 58.8, and that's going to be feet squared. To find perimeter, perimeter is just adding up all the pieces on the outside, so all the lengths. So 18.2 plus 7 plus 16.8. I get 42 for perimeter. And it's going to be in feet because it's a length. Now when I look at this trapezoid is just created by a rectangle and two congruent triangles. That means that this is actually called an isosceles trapezoid. So if you consider the base of this isosceles trapezoid is 7, that means if I create this into a rectangle, this other piece is going to be 7. If the entire top base is 19, that means that the two pieces that are left are going to be 6 and 6, because 6 plus 7 plus 6 is 19. So in order to find the height, we can use Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. That's x squared plus 36 equals 100. Subtract 36 from both sides. We get x squared equals 64. And then when we take the square root, we get the height is going to end up being 8. So if I want to find area is equal to 1/2 of the height times the two bases, add it together. So we're going to add the bases first. We're going to times it by 8, and then we're going to divide our answer by 2. We get 104. The area is 104 centimeters squared. To get perimeter, that's just going to be 19 plus 10 plus 7 plus 10 again, because those are the lengths of the outside of the shape, and I get 46 centimeters. So I'm given that I have a parallelogram and its area is 160.5, so we're given the answer. The formula for area of a parallelogram is just area equals the base times the height. We know the base is what we're trying to find, and the height is 7.5. We know the height is 7.5, so we're going to plug it in. Area equals the base we don't know, and the height is 7.5. But we know the area is 106.5. If we want to solve for b, we just divide both sides by 7.5. And the length of the base is 14.2 inches. And on example 10, we are given the triangle has an area of 45.5. And we know the base has a measure of 14. Let's find the height of the triangle. So the area formula for triangle is 1/2 length of the base times the height of the triangle. Well, we know the h is 45.5, so that's going to equal 1/2 times the base, which is 14, times the height, which we don't know. So I can do 45.5 equals, what's half of 14? 7h. Divide by 7. And I get the height is equal to 6.5 centimeters. For the last two problems, I asked the kids to work them out as homework and take a screenshot of them and put them in Google Classroom.